What's up? My name's Lillian. I go by Zalos online.
True.
This is
Truth note.
going to be the VOD, one could call it, of me building out my character whose working name is Voss. So this will be the first thing I insert. Now that you can see it, it's being obscured by my face. First thing I'm going to do is roll stats. I'm not going to have my webcam on for this whole thing. I might talk over this with stuff afterwards. Main thing I'm hoping for is I'm going to do fighter. So I'm hoping to get kind of a weird stat. I kind of want a high int or willpower or charisma. We is not leaning back in the chair. And if I can't get one of those three, I would like a high strength, dex, or con, obviously.
It's 214.
Yeah. Perception would be kind of cool, but
chairs,
I don't know. I'm not super experienced in 2E. I'm just going to roll down the line.
It's true.
We'll see how this goes. I'm going to turn off my face cam now. And it's dark because I recorded this part at night. Thanks, bro. I already told him it will be night. Should I ever play? Just by the way. I think there's a little bit more talking from the goon, but then it should go quiet. I'll jump around here. I'm not obscuring that. Yeah, we good. Big money. Fucking hell. Okay. Okay, it's Dex. Dex is a shitty stat anyways. I am aware of that curse that Quibu players tend to have, where if they have an 18 or higher, they just get fucked. W7. I have two more. Poggers. God damn, bro. Shut up, let me calm. Not bad. Not bad at all. Oops. It's on my tabs. We eventually go full screen, so don't worry. I fucking need it at the end of this. You can tell I haven't turned my mic off yet because you bad set of stats. I'm fine with that. Human. Oh, player name. Oh god, all this shit I'll have to figure out over the course of this video. Probably time-lapsed. Probably won't be able to hear me talk during it, so just let this go on. And turn on the video. Time-lapsed. Oh, there we go. How professional, you fucker. So, what's going to happen here is I pulled that up with purpose. There's a reason I pulled that up. Move it over here. What is wrong with me? I genuinely don't know. So there's this cool thing. Get the Koibu toolbox open. You can use Purple Worm. I end up using the fandom wiki. Don't pull it up on your phone. It'll cause it to overheat and your phone will explode. That's not a joke. It's a joke. But it will cause it to fucking overheat like hell. You'd be better off, like, streaming a movie in 4K on your fucking phone than opening up fandom on your phone. You're safer that way, I swear to God. It'll heat the alloys, it'll bond your skin to your phone. Now, this shit, I'm just stupid. You can skip all this shit while this goes on. If you go to the Real Goblins website, I should have just looked, should have done my research. Go here. Go to 2E Auto Statter. You can put in your information, and it'll tell you everything. It'll change all the stats accordingly. Look, boom, there you go. There's everything you need. You're a fighter, you're level 3, boom, you can add that in. It tells you everything. This part is just a waste of time. It is just me putting in all that information. Typically, I'm a DM, so I'm not super. I don't really have a flow yet for building characters. So I will jump back and forth. Not to mention the 2E rulebooks are organized like shit. If I had the paper books, I would just be so lost. You don't get any racial abilities because you're a human. Just fighter. You should be skipping around, be jumping around. It's not a full VOD. I'll probably upload the VOD too, though. Just fuck me. Just fuck me, Koibu. I shouldn't say that. I'm sorry. That's a meme. I say that as a meme. I say that. I've been watching Tombs of Scoria, so fucking Destiny says it so much that it's been into my lingo. So me and my girlfriend will be playing Slay the Spire, and some bullshit will happen, and then one of us will lean back and say, just fuck me, Koibu. It's the only reason I can work nights. Looks like I'm doing proficiencies now. Oh wait, no, this is where I keep track of all my shit before I fill them in. Like here, I'll put in, I have a weapon spec, and then I'll eventually get 4 weapon proficiencies, -2 because 2 go to the weapon spec. And then I get 3 non-weapon proficiencies, I think. Might be based on int, some shit like that. Yeah. I do this shit for an hour and a half. I'm in the fucking trenches. But hey, next time, if you're a DM, or you're a player, okay? Let's say you're a player, and you want to start playing D&D, and your DM's gonna do 5e or some shit, and you think building a character in 5e is hard? Jesus fucking Christ. Try using this system. Oh my god. Like, this is basically, I have no hands-on experience with 2e, but oh my god, everything is just everywhere. There is not a single page that has all the information for the thing you want to find about it. The organization of this thing, if it wasn't online, I don't know what I'd do. If I had the books and I had to flip through pages, couldn't be me. Could not be me. Sorry, I just fucking probably blew out my mic with that, I'm sorry. But if you're a DM and your players, your players are saying like, it's not making sense, this thing or that thing in this system or that system. Be nice. Because this must have been this is probably what it feels like to build a 5e character without any information on how to do it. I spent an hour and a half reading through these fucking rules, looking at all these fucking tables between 3 different websites. Jesus Christ, this shit. I don't have a video playing either. I tried. I couldn't concentrate. So I was sitting in here at 12 a.m. for an hour and a half building a 2e character from scratch. If I haven't listened to so much Koibu before, all of his AD&D, I would be lost. I would have no idea where to even start, because these rulebooks sure don't help. What am I cooking? You already filled that out. Oh, I think I remember hearing something about your int gives you additional proficiencies or some shit. I didn't see any of that there. Skip forward a little bit. Consulting the 2-point kneel rules. Slight differences. Good thing about the 2-point kneel rules is they don't do anything like drastically different. They kind of just simplify mechanics that are already in it. Like AC. That goes disgusting. I could never do it. I don't know how people do that shit. Rewatching Hardcore Heroes, it doesn't make sense. Like, usually if you hear enough about something, you hear it consistently, you can kind of start to build up like how it works in your head, even if you don't know exactly what like the equation is, you know? THACO doesn't make sense to me. I've listened to Hardcore Heroes so much. It doesn't compute. I don't get it. I'm not trying to learn how to do it because they trash it in Hardcore Heroes and they never use it again because THACO's a bad mechanic. THACO's a bad system. Oh, the video's not playing. Fuck. I thought I was just staring at that shit. Oh, I'm an ape. Fuck. It's me writing down. I get 4 weapon proficiencies. Because I didn't want to start filling them out yet until I knew all the things. Like, all there was to know about it. And this benefits me in the end. Because getting a weapon specialization isn't as easy as it says in the fighter class. You gotta go to the proficiencies table, not the table, but the proficiencies section, and then read about the proficiencies. Because if you just read that you have 4 weapon proficiencies and you have 1 weapon specialization, then you'd be like, okay, I have 1 weapon specialization and then I have 4 weapon proficiencies. Wrong, because weapon specialization takes 2 weapon proficiencies. So you can either be proficient in 4 weapons or specialized in 1 and 2 weapons proficient with. It feels like they wrote 80% of the rules and then they started like changing them around like towards the end, and like they didn't want to like catch up every single page. So it's just like, well, if you're looking at weapon proficiencies, if you're going to look at your weapon specialization, then you're going to go to the weapon proficiency page anyways, and you can read it there. Like, this isn't a rule book where you can just like skip over 2 or 3 sentences, go to the next paragraph. Like, you literally have to read all this shit. Overall, though, I still like it a little bit more than 5e. I have my whole own game system that is like a mix of 5e, 2e, and World of Warcraft custom shit. Because I'm a fucking nerd. I love World of Warcraft. And just like 2e has way cooler spells. Like 5e has great combat spells, but like that's kind of it. That's all they really have. 2e has way cooler spells, you know? It's something I really envy about the system, which I think ultimately got removed or cut from 5e to reduce bloat, to, you know, to help bring in new players, because new players 9 times out of 10 are going to see spells and they're going to be like, oh, that's how I kill shit, that's how I break shit. And like that's kind of all they do. Like, you would never see fucking, what's his name, Eravon's Creeping Shadow or some shit in 5e. And maybe it is in there, and I'm blowing smoke. I'm looking up right now, just to be sure. Oh my god, flashbang. That is, ignore that. I'm a fanboy. This is the White Lightning Sterling syrup for coffee. The picture is a lightning bolt with a white decal of chocolate on the yellow. The reason it's that is because... Why did I bring that over? What's wrong with me? The reason it's that is because I randomly remembered it the other day. And I really like that coffee syrup. It's very good. It's like white chocolate with like some caramel in it. Something like that. I had it years ago. It was really good though. I really liked it, and I didn't want to forget it. So I bookmarked the page. The only place I can find that sells it online is like this weird back alley like syrup website. But to make sure I didn't forget, I made it my background. Used to be Pokeka. One of those little birds with the giant fucking feet for no reason. And not a kiwi. Kiwi and kopekas are different. Pokekas? Pokeka patata. I was gonna do something. I forgot. That sucks. Three attacks in 2 rounds. It feels like the game was designed around being balanced by having players and GMs miss shit in the rules. Like 1 attack every 3 rounds? I mean, 1.5 attacks every 2 rounds? Like, what a head scratcher. Whatever. Weapon proficiencies. This is where I find this thing, and I literally just stare at it for like maybe 30, 40 seconds. You can just see my cursors right there on Henchman, because I'm amazed. Just cinema. Fucking sense. I rolled for my handedness. I got a 10. Poggers. I wasn't going to use it anyways. I'm a shield fighter. I think I'm looking for a weapon list at this point, because I want to know what all my potential proficient weapons are. Find it right there. Or I was looking for something else. I do remember I was looking for like a list of weapons to be proficient with, and then there were some details about them that I was blurry on. There we go. Oh yeah, I was definitely looking through it already. I was looking for like some sort of backup weapon, I think. So I was thinking about getting a ranged weapon, but I was like, see, this is where I see it. I see Dirk. I'm sold. It's like a mix of a short sword and a dagger. Like, it's bigger than a dagger, but it's smaller than a short sword. I'm thinking like that'd be something really cool to have like strapped to your calf, I guess, like in a sheath. So it's like kind of like a boot blade. Flipping through tabs because I'm lost because there's so many things. And I'm not the type to like read the tab either. I'm just like, I think it was one of these three, and then I'll click it. I'll click through until I find it. I want to be proficient with a dirk. You can see I still didn't know what my weapon spec was going to be yet. I just wrote down the details, +2 hit, +1 damage. Something I do like about this system is how much more condensed the numbers are. Like, +1 damage is honestly kind of big in this system. Because even, like, level 8 characters can have, like, 30, 40 health. Like, it's pretty drastic. It's definitely more on the lower end, I suppose, but I guess it's based on the classes. Yeah. And then I look up if you can one-hand one of these things. They look fucking gigantic. It's like just so many things, like proficient in man catcher. Like, what? I don't know. I thought about a whip too. I think a whip would be cool, but it literally is useless. Like, it's not even like a weapon. Really, it does 1d2 damage against small, medium. It does 1 damage against large. Like, it's not like a weapon. It's definitely something more that you take as like a, like if you're taking like torture proficiency too, which I know isn't in base 2e, but like that's something you do if you do that. It seems more like something that it feels like it's on here just so that people can say that the whip only does 1d2 damage. Which is kind of disappointing, because in my system, I have like a bunch of specialty weapons, like a whip and like warglaives and shit, weird shit. And they have like weird stats, because like they're cool weapons that I want to be usable in a combat, even if they are suboptimal, but like they make up for it by being weird in some ways. Like whips in my system have, I think it's 10-foot range, like at their farthest, and they can do damage from farther away. And it's like if you don't want to pull arm, you can take a whip, and it's like it does damage still. I know Morning Stars are typically a hobgoblin thing, but I wanted to do something that's kind of weird. My first real player character ever, I did in a 5e setting with my girlfriend, where she was the DM, because she wanted to get some experience as DMing. and I've been running 2 campaigns for a while now. So she was like, we were in a hiatus between those 2 campaigns, and she was like, I kind of want to play some D&D. I'm down to DM for you. I was like, sweet. So we made it a 5e game. I played a crossbow expert fighter. Her name is Renata, and she has the crossbow expert feat, because if you don't take that feat, crossbows are dog shit in 5e. It disgusts me. Makes me sad. It's weird because they try to keep the, like, the action economy of crossbows from 2e into 5e, and it doesn't make sense. Like, it's not the right game. But I'm a dual-wielding light crossbow expert, and it's super, what a blast it is. Like, one-on-one campaigns are cool. It's cool to be, like, doing something weird, because I kind of have to think more, because if I was just playing, like, a typical, like, a barbarian or some shit with a 2-handed axe, and I run at people and I hit them, I don't think I'd think about the game as complexly as I do with Renata, where it's like, if I get into a one-on-one fight, sure, I have a short sword I can draw, and I can still attack with my light crossbow as a bonus action, but it's like, that's really bad. It's really, really bad. So I kind of have to take things more carefully, even when I have NPC help. It's really interesting. I believe I was looking for, just a minute ago, I wrote down shield ? For proficiency, because I wasn't sure if you need a proficiency or not. And I still don't. I couldn't find any information on it, because a shield is classified as armor. That's what I'm doing right now, is I'm looking for shields, I believe. But they aren't in weapons, they're in armor, which kind of makes sense, but just put them in both, man. Fucking hell. Excuse me. Yeah, just a little confusing. This is me rolling for gold. I get a fair amount of gold, but I decide to ultimately remove most of it. And at first I go with ring mail, which was like, I was like, oh, well, that's like pretty much all my money in and of itself. But I had the lore justification of, she's selling all of her shit, she's going overseas, just start like jumping around. So eventually I bring it down to 5, and then I think I drop it to 4, even after I buy all my shit, because I do ultimately swap my ring mail to studded leather. So it's not a full 100 gold, but I think she still ends up with only like 5 gold or whatever. But I think I'm fine with that, because she's kind of, she's living light. If you have too much gold, it starts weighing you down and shit too, so it's like, ugh, you know? This is me calculating AC ratings. 2-point Neil uses additive instead of subtractive, because DACO fucking sucks. So I think I end up with 16 AC. It's either 16 or 15. I think it's 10 base, 0 from dex. No, it's 3 from armor from studded leather, and then 1 from shield, so 14. It's me reading the differences between the shield sizes. Purple Worm's a cool website. I didn't use it much at first, but like, it's kind of the same as the wiki fandom. Fandom is better in a few ways. It has that dark mode, so it's not just this blinding light. And at the top of every article, in the top right corner, there's that little bar that shows you the chapter and all the shit on it. Because if you click one of the entries, it brings you to the whole chapter, and all the chapter lists go down in order, instead of like this, where you have to click through each page to be each chapter. I think Perform ultimately does organize itself in a better way, chapter by chapter, but Fandom has a more typical interface. I believe Fandom is like probably a lot more comfortable for newer players to use, especially since like the first few times I looked at this Perform, it just felt like it didn't have any information on it, even though it does. It has it all there, but you gotta like dig and dig and dig and dig through all the folders. Whereas with Fandom, sure, it's still 2E basically as it was written, so it's still organized like shit, but it's a hell of a lot easier to just jump off from. Whereas with Purple Worm, I think requires a little bit more experience. Experience that I would say I have acquired most of over the course of the last 45 minutes of using it. So it doesn't take a lot, but that's probably because I have prior hands-off experience with 2E because of all the Koibu shows, and I have pretty general knowledge of 5E and my system. I'm going to mute so I can cough. I need equipment. I think I'm trying to find the price list. Yeah. See, that part's kind of nice. A bunch of links to all the table. I'm putting in all my information. This is the part where I go back and forth between having a... Maybe it's not. I think I was still doing weapons at this point. This is me deciding that I want to do Morningstar spec because it's fucking Giga Chad. Then I do shield, a question mark, and then if not, I think I take like light crossbow or some shit. I think ultimately I'll probably change it to something more normal, like a short sword, if shield spec does in fact not exist. I just swear I heard Mr. Mooden talk about it in Tombs of Scoria, but I might be crazy. This is like classes of weapons. So like if you're proficient in a knife, you're proficient in a dagger. If you're proficient in a light crossbow, you're proficient in probably a heavy crossbow. Proficient in the sense that you don't suffer a penalty for using it. There's a few interesting things in there, but I ultimately decided to not write it down because I put a P next to my shield because I classified it as paid for, even though I didn't, because I didn't subtract the gold. Boggers. It's me picking my non-weapon proficiencies. I should hit play. I keep forgetting to do that because I'm doing this in the video editing software, because whenever I try to open it in the media player, it won't let me like click through it. It's a one-time view. You can't go backwards, you can't go forward. You can pause it, but you can't do anything else. I'm bouncing around. I am amazed that as a warrior you cannot get literacy. That is crazy. History, sure. Juggling, sure. But it's a little fucked up. I wish I could trade my 2 language slots for literacy. Maybe I can ask about that. I don't know. Koibu's world works in like an older system of the world where, like, you know, knowing how to swim and being literate isn't like assumed. It's not assumed everybody has that because there's not like as much. There's not like very public education. I like that a lot, and adapting that into a more modern system is a little bit difficult, because if you do that, then that can take away a lot of the fantasy of D&D for some players, like especially people who are playing 5e. 9 times out of 10, they don't want to go into the world and be like, okay, you can either pick a feat or you can be literate and read. It just doesn't make very much sense. It's also a little hard for me to understand how I can know 3 languages, like to speak them, but I can't read any of them. It's a little but a way I plan to try to implement that into my system, and a way that I think you could to yours if you're looking to make changes to your more modern systems to make them a little more old school feeling. I want to add a way to take these negative modifiers effectively, but then reward you in another way. I think it's Project Zomboid or some shit like that has a system where you can take debuffs, like you start without an arm or you have a limp or some shit like that. Never played it, just heard my friends talk about it. But like you can start with these big penalties, but you get like more attributes to put into other things or whatever. And it sounds really cool. And if that's not the case, whatever, I don't play Project Zomboid, but that's how they've described it. It sounds really interesting. I'm trying to think of a good way to realistically implement that, because you can't just have an infinite, like, because let's say you say, you know, when they're picking feats, you can say, here's a list of debuffs you can pick, and then you can add X benefit. Because if you have a list of debuffs that are like literacy, you cannot read or write, and you can just speak the languages you know, or you don't know how to swim, stuff like that. If you have it just be like the reward is like you can get another attribute point somewhere, then it's like the barbarian who is already going to roleplay not being able to speak or write and not being able to swim, because like, you know, maybe they have like 6 int or some shit, because they want to have a low int, they want to play that power fantasy. This is just an example. They want to play that power fantasy of being the strong but stupid guy, goes and kills shit. The issue comes is like they're already going to do that, so you kind of just buff them even more than the other players who wanted to play a more typical, because like the mage needs to be literate. They need to be able to read and write. It's kind of just like a mage fantasy. Sure, you can build characters around their inability to do these things, but I think ultimately it puts this other character too far ahead. So it's a really important balancing act to try and determine something that is like, what can you give them in exchange for taking on one of these debuffs? Like, not being able to swim could be massive. Like, that instantly could render their character dead if they are on a boat and there is a combat encounter. They could just die. Like, if the boat's damaged, if they get thrown overboard, like, these things are massive. Like, not having an arm, not being able to swim, not being able to read or write, like, that's a gigantic gameplay difference creator. Like, if you have a rogue who's illiterate, that could take away so many subplots, you know? Like, you know, the mysterious rune on the wall with the rogue sneaking around in a place they shouldn't be, so the rest of the party can't really follow. And it's like, sure, if they have a ledger, they could take it with them and have the other players read it to them, but then there's the issue of, like, if the rogue's trying to keep whatever's going on in there on the down low, it fucks that up, which I don't think is necessarily a bad thing. To cooperate with your party is a good thing, but I think it's really important to be able to have your player be able to have your character be independent of the party as well. A really good example of this is Croak. Hardcore Heroes. Love all the players in that. And Croak gets to spend a lot of his time on the show doing these weird Croak things where he's just being a thief and he's sneaking around and he's doing his own things independent of the party. And it adds a lot of interesting tension and questions between the party, while Croak has to constantly weave this web of lies and keep it up, and then have to face these different answers and conflicting responses based on who he's around, who he's talking to, who he went with. It's super interesting. And I think ultimately that would have come up more if Malachi wasn't so chill with it. But if you were like a rogue in a party with like a priest and a cleric and I don't know, like a good guy ranger, like it gets really hard to do that. And also, Croak wasn't on the show for very long. Spoilers. Lol. I don't know. It's something that interests me. thought about letting them pick an additional skill or something too, but that just doesn't seem like enough. Maybe increase 2 skills you already have by +1 or +2, but then I guess that's not bad actually if you're using 5e system. I guess that could also work for a 2e system because you get to pick your non-weapon proficiencies. That might be nice. If you wanted to play a 2e game where, being literate and swimming, as the examples I keep returning to, really matter, it's not a bad choice, I think. Be able to increase things they're already good at by +1. It's like, make me a bakery check. I got +4 because I can't swim and I can't read or write. That's fine. Who cares? Let bro bake his bread. Skip around a little bit more too. I'm really still looking at the same table 10 minutes in the future. Oh yeah, this is me. I'm juggling the weight differences between these two things. Not two things. I think I was looking at leather padded ringmail and studded leather. I'm pretty sure I do ultimately go with studded leather. It's a little bit of min-maxing to do that, but I wanted to play a character who could reasonably swim, because swimming is one of her proficiencies, which is one of the reasons why she is fine with going out into the great wide beyond, into on ships, into these weird port cities, onto these archipelagos, etc. It's because she feels comfortable. She's not afraid that if the boat rocks too hard one day and she falls over, she's going to instantly die. Sure, she has a lot of equipment on her, but she's wearing leather. She's wearing studded leather. She's within her weight bracket. She is strong. She is tall. She has a fairly high strength. Yeah, I feel like it's reasonable that she could swim, even if she does have to ditch her shield or her morning star in the process. It's fucking hell. Those morning stars are heavy. It's like 10 pounds. Jesus, how do you one-hand that shit? I never would have survived an AD&D. Would have been some fucking fat cleric rubbing my big belly, telling people they're going to hell or heaven. Skip ahead again. What are we doing here? What are we cooking? Just fucking hell. Okay, here we go. This is me once again doing more min-maxing, comparing the differences. That table's kind of nice. I kind of like that table. It doesn't have all the armor equipment though, which is weird. If you use that table, you have no idea how strong hide is. Hide just isn't listed on there. And I don't know if it's because leather and padded are under hide or what, which then confuses me, because then why does hide have a cost at all? Because that should just be a bracket basically describing these two lower items. Doesn't make a lot of sense to me, but I do like the how they give you examples. This is what your AC would be with ringmail, but this is what it would be with, but it's also the same as it would be with studded leather and a shield, and I like it. This is me filling in my AC, I think. Get 0 from dex. I think I have 10 base. I think that's a rule, something like that. If we open up that chart again, yeah. AC of 10 baseline, half of 10 is 10. So if you're going positive, if you're using THAC0 or you're being normal, it's 10 regardless baseline. I don't have a high enough dex to alter it in any way. And then I think I include my armor and my shield here, and then I realize that there are empty spots beneath AC, which is just fucking wonderful character sheet design. So ultimately I drop the oh my god, I drop the shield in the armor section and I just put it right beneath it. Funnily enough, one of the last things I do is actually a roll for HP. I don't end with a bad number. I'm going to spoil it here, so if you don't want, click the arrow key 10 times. I actually end up with 16 HP. I got a pretty bad first roll. I think I got like 6 or something. Then I got a 2, and I was really worried. And then I got an 8, so not bad overall. 16's a little lower than I would like for a 3rd level character, but it's okay. It's not like a dragon will fly down and one-shot me anyways, right, Koibu? Just fucking with you. I just start to fill in the numbers. I think it's an interesting system how they have different damage values for small, medium, and large. It's a little unfortunate because ultimately small and medium end up being the same, which I think would make more sense for small to be different from medium and then large be different from medium. It's like if you club a kobold over the head with an axe, it should probably do a little bit more damage than clubbing a human over the head with an axe. But I guess that maybe that's just factored into the small creature having more HP, which might actually be the case, come to think of it, because even large creatures tend not to have a super high hit point pool. Something I really like that I already mentioned in 2e is how condensed the hit point pools are. Like in 5e, if you have 10 level 1 wizards casting arcane missiles on somebody, they're probably not going to die if they're like the conjoined level of all of them combined. Whereas in 2e, if you have like 5 level 1 wizards casting arcane missiles on somebody, like that's fucking dangerous. It's like maximum 20 damage, and like I'm a level 3 fighter, and that's more HP than I have. Like, there's just so much variance in it all, and I find it very interesting. Bludgeoning and piercing. I think it makes sense for the Morningstar to do like a little bit of piercing damage because it's got spikes on it, but I know ultimately it is a club. I have a feeling the spikes don't do much besides just like, I think there is, I'm literally speaking out my ass right here. I'm pretty sure it's to like break up the density of whatever it's hitting, because if you hit something, like if you hit like a rock with the spike part going in, I think it'll it's more likely to shatter the rock than just like the big ball. I think that's what it's intended to do, is like it's supposed to like dent in armor from there, and then the force of the ball in like, what would be the right word? Further demolishes whatever it's blowing, because you weaken the structural stability with the spiked part hitting, and then the remnants of the force is exerted over the not the circumference, but the area of the ball. It's quite cool. I don't know why that X part got marked. I don't think I clicked it, but it's weird. I don't actually know if I have one attack of opportunity, but I'm pretty sure it's based on your attacks per round. I don't really know. I only have 1.5, and you can't make half an attack anyways. I'm going to have 5 henchmen. That's going to be really useful. When I first heard about this campaign, before I saw the casting call, which I saw later into the campaign, when I first heard about this campaign, I wanted to play a cleric who was just fiercely devoted to Vincent Mapper. That's me rolling the HP. I wanted them to be a cleric of something weird, which I think is kind of why I picked my NPC interest of choice in my backstory to be a priest of, or cleric of Railcore. I like those weird gods, and I want them to be explored more by players. But ultimately, like, I get why they don't. My girlfriend said that Koibu doesn't have a spell list for all of them, because I think she said that she remembered him having to make one for Velthara, for Anton. But I think that's so cool, having like your own spell list. Super cool. I love Van Helsing. I love Anton. It's dope. But it makes sense because the mercenaries are hired arms, uh, class limitations, so no spellcasters, which makes sense because I think it keeps the importance on Vincent Mapper, who is the main character. It's literally said in the first episode and enforced in like every other episode. It's how it's designed to be, and I like it. Because I think if there's other spellcasters like arguing about how their spells work or how many they can get or blah 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 blah, I think it wouldn't be the same as just Vincent being the main spellcaster. Because when you see a fireball, it's like, holy shit, Vincent, get in there! It's fucking dope. Vincent Mapper being a transmutation / alteration wizard too was my primary inspiration for one of the dungeons I ran my players through. It was the long abandoned tomb of Ragligoi, the transmutation / alteration master. In my world, he was the first to create many of the transmutation and alteration spells that are so powerful. I guess my players shouldn't know this, but if you're my players, don't listen to this part. Skip ahead like 2 minutes. He created Disintegrate and all the variations thereof from 2E, which are in my system. He created pretty much all the spells that will transform a inanimate object to alive, whether it's just like a thing running around or it's like creating a mimic. And he created the Stone to Flesh and Flesh to Stone spells. Also, his name is an anagram for gargoyle. In-universe explanation is that he created the first gargoyle, and he wanted it to be an anagram of his name, so Ragligoi came before the gargoyle. It's me reading this crossed out part. I get a little into it before I'm like, why am I reading this? It's crossed out, it doesn't give shit. Here I'm trying to find the spell saves chart. Yeah, there we go. I find it. It's in some weird spot. Just another thing of like, I don't know why it's organized so poorly. It must be organized so poorly because it was like, wasn't designed with the internet in mind being the way you use it. But like, the way this reads is like you're supposed to read the whole fucking thing a few times, like it's a fucking textbook, and then you can start employing that knowledge. Whereas with 5e, you can kind of jump around. Not entirely. 5e is still a pain in the ass in many regards, but generally pretty clean. It's got a pretty good ease of access. It's me picking a bunch of equipment, quote unquote. You see, I reduced my gold down to 5. After I bought all my shit, I should have way more than 5, but I was like, I'm just gonna pick some shit, and then just keep it at 5. I try to keep it roughly in the same area of like the amount of gold I should have. I think I should still have like 25 gold or some shit, maybe 15, something like that. I wanted a bucket, but it weighs too much. A fucking empty bucket weighs 3 pounds. Like, it makes sense, but fucking hell. I think I grab a few candles. I think I roll for the amount of candles I have. I think I get a piece of chalk too. I rolled D12. Yeah, so 4 candles. Why do I have candles? I didn't really know in the moment, but it started to feel it out. At the end, I give myself a holy symbol of Relcor too, which is the god that Amora, her girlfriend, follows. Or wife, something like that. Haven't decided yet. Probably wife. I think that's just like another. It's kind of like the only thing she really, quote unquote, has left of her, which, Amora would have took her holy symbol with her, so it's not even Amora's holy symbol, it's just a holy symbol of Relcor. I got flint and steel too, I got butchery, swimming, and heraldry. I think heraldry makes sense, because I've been in the army a lot, I'm pretty experienced, and it was kind of like my substitute for literacy, because at least this way I can still effectively read military groups and units and such. groups, units, items, etc. Symbols. Swimming, because it's obvious. She wouldn't be like going out into these archipelagos and shit and wanting to go on like these weird port cities in the middle of nowhere. She couldn't feel like she could swim. And butchering made sense because, you know, you're in the military, you get deployed somewhere. She probably found a pretty good way to kill the animals and make the most proper use she could out of them. She wasn't the hunter, though. That's important to note. That was somebody else's job. I know those usually go side by side, but I really enjoy playing things that are suboptimal, opposed to when I'm a DM, where I make up for it by playing my monsters and my minions, maybe not minions, but my monsters and opposing NPCs a little too optimally. Should probably go a little bit easier on my players, but I just get good. They have access to the same things you do. In reference to the NPCs, my players do not have access to the death ray from the fucking Cataploplopus or whatever that fucking stupid warthog-looking thing is. Save or die in 2e, by the way. Disgusting. I don't even think it's save or die. I think it's literally just die. Plus 2e. This is, yes, there we go. Pulled up the fucking Pathfinder one. Yeah, okay, look at this. This is this fucking thing, okay? You see this stupid fucking thing? Despite the danger of a tail strike, the Catalopolis' second mode of attack is by far the more fearsome of the two. The gaze of the Catalopolis emanates a death ray within a 60-yard range. Any creature meeting its gaze dies without a saving throw. If a party is surprised by it, there's a 1 in 6 chance that someone has met the creature's gaze and instantly dies. Those who close their eyes or act with their eyes averted can still be affected by the death ray, but a saving throw is allowed. What? Who was cooking with this thing? Whoever made this shit needs to go to prison. I'm not even joking. Like, straight to fucking Alcatraz. And it looks so fucking stupid, too. It's like, this is the 5e one. It still looks stupid, but like kind of in a more menacing way. I ran it recently, but I changed the death rate to not be an instant death with a save or die. I changed it to just be a shit ton of fucking damage. I employ the rule that if you take overkill damage equal to your HP, then you die, just permanently. I death rayed one of my players who was exceptionally fragile, and I think I was like 20 damage away from overkilling her from like 80 HP max. That's bad. I changed out the damage dice to be like, instead of save or death, it was like 16d12 or some shit. I was like, yeah, whatever, feels right, fuck it. It's just supposed to be deadly. It rolled I used the 2e rule where you roll for its recharge between its max and its minimum. So I rolled a d4, or is it d6 or some shit. See how many more rounds it can until it can wait until it can use it again. And it got a 1, but it was so close to death that it didn't make sense for it to try and just kill it. Like, I know they're spiteful creatures, but like this one had never been properly opposed by anything. Usually it just zaps somebody and they fucking die and that's it, and it eats them. But it decided to go for a breath attack, which I stole from the 2e Pathfinder version. The Pathfinder version has a breath attack, and the 5e version has death ray. So my favorite parts. I think Pathfinder does like 13d6 or 8 or 12 or some shit. Not bad. Does a lot. Almost killed that player too. Look at that bum. Look at that fucking bum. Everybody watching this video, send hate to Neckwear on Steam. Don't do that. Please don't do that. It would kind of be funny, but don't do that. It's my friend Robert. He's like, I think he's like 57. Yeah, I think he's like 50. He might be 58 this year. We used to play Overwatch a lot when it first came out. It's me trying to make sense of encumbrance, and I just don't get it for a little while. But then it all, because I skipped over a sentence, and that sentence describes the whole fucking thing. And there's like 2 paragraphs of text, and this is like the only one that matters. It, even with the chart, it didn't make a lot of sense to me, but then like I understood that it's like what brackets of weight you have before the penalty on the left is applied, and then it made more sense to me. Just look at all this fucking text. An unencumbered human can walk 120 yards, slightly more than a football field, while a dwarf of the same height and encumbrance can walk, but only half in the same time. It's like, who fucking, like, what? Who cares? So few races in 2E, which I think is a good thing and a bad thing. I know there's like a lot of monstrous classes you can play too. I mean, monstrous races you can play too, but like, if you want to play humanoid, like elf, half-elf, human, dwarf, halfling, who's fucking playing halfling, and gnome, I think are like the 6, and it's kind of like, eh. In 5e, it's basically the same, but like half-orcs are like baseline. There's tieflings, which I think are cool. Oh, my girlfriend put up my subway coupons on the wall, so I don't lose them. Poggers, I just noticed. But like half-orcs, tieflings. I don't think Goliaths are in the base player's handbook, but those are cool too. The issue is like the DM, if they have their own world that isn't like the Wizards of the Coast approved fucking baseline world, it's kind of hard to fit all those in. Like if somebody wanted to play a Goliath in my world, I just like I couldn't do it. Like I would have to give them like something that is like it could have all the same abilities and like racials as a Goliath, but it couldn't be a Goliath. And I think that's a big difference between how these games are made, like as time progressed. Because it used to just be like, this is, welcome to Greyhawk. Get your friends together, get loot, kill some shit, get it home. And then over time, the dungeon master will flesh out the world. I feel like that was the expectation, is that you have a baseline and you play in that for a while, and then maybe your DM will move on to make like their own setting or their own branch of the world, or etc., etc. Whereas in modern day, it seems more and more that dungeon masters want to have a world prepared right away, and that can be like a big, like, it's a lot to make a whole world right away. And like, I mean, I'm guilty of it. I do it. It's fun. It's fun to world build, but like you can't have it all built right away. And more, the Forgotten Realms, and I think in the newest edition they use Greyhawk or some rendition of it, maybe just by name. But it's like more and more, it's getting like farther away from. I think they brought back Greyhawk in the latest edition to be like a new starter DM zone, and I think that's a good step in the right direction. But I think ultimately, like the Forgotten Realms is like D&D just isn't about that anymore. It's more about like the DM's world. Like it feels more like these are a bunch of toys, and it's like your solemn duty to make sense of them all. if you go about it in a smart way, in an experienced way, you know to like maybe keep them in the background, but unless your players interact with it or like directly involved with it, you can kind of just keep it on the back burner. You don't have to directly address it very much. Like, for example, Goliaths. If none of your players are Goliath, you really don't have to worry. And if anybody ever asks about Goliaths, they go ask somebody, and you say, oh, like, then you make up a reason right then. Oh. Give them a thumbs up because I'm done. I'm just going to finish this rant. None of your players are Goliaths, and you're using, like, your own world, but it still takes place with the 5e system. And they say, oh, we haven't seen any Goliath. What's up with that? I'm going to go ask fucking Johnny Bill Narbles about where the Goliaths are. And you can make it up on the spot and just keep a note of it. If it's something really simple, you can just remember it and be like, oh yeah, they used to be here a long time ago, but then one day a bunch of their ships sailed off to the east, and we've never seen very many of them ever since. And the few remaining here got integrated into society. Or you could be like, they're a roaming band of savages that go around and maraud and whatever. And it's like, cool, like that lore didn't exist before then. I feel like that's how world building in like a starting scale is supposed to work. Whereas now it seems more like you have all these D&D videos that are like people telling you how to build a world, and it's like literally every step. And they always say like, they always say what I just said, where it's like, don't try to get it all done right away. But ultimately, when you watch those long-ass... If you're one of the types of people who watch one of those long-ass videos, like there's like a 50-minute guide to make your whole world, you want that information. So, I don't know. I think it's confliction of interests, I suppose. I mean, that's my, do I call it a director's commentary? That was my commentary on me making this sheet. I skipped around a little bit because it's a little bit boring, but this video is just as long as this one almost, so we'll call it good. Might upload the VOD. I don't know. It's another hour and 20 of shit that I gotta export. We'll see. If you watch this, what's wrong with you? If you just skip to the end, you would Giga Chat. Bye bye.